Good morning, or afternoon, or evening. Whatever time of day you're watching this, good. Welcome to my project on Dracula, and let's get right into it. So the essential questions for today are: how did Dracula affect the economy and tourism of Romania? How did the setting of Romania affect the novel? And how did the people of Romania initially react to Dracula? What do they think now? Dracula, published in 1897, was based around the country of Romania. Though he had never visited, author Bram Stoker depicted Romania as a foreign, creepy, and very spiritual country. At the original time of publishing, Romania had been a country for only 21 years, and much like a lot of Eastern Europe, it was very underdeveloped, heavily religious, and isolated from Western Europe. Romania was a monarchy, and again, staying consistent with much of Eastern Europe at the time, the people were poorly educated. As a result, the people relied heavily on superstition and religious fervor to explain unknown occurrences. This made it a perfect place for Stoker to set his story. Through the depiction shown in Dracula, Westerners began associating the country of Romania, and more specifically the region of Transylvania, with vampires, folklore, and the supernatural. In modern times, Romania is in no way similar to the depiction seen in the book. But when the popularity of Dracula rose, tourism spiked in Romania, and tourists were very disappointed to find that Romania had become a modernized and much more normal nation with people who were very not religious. Thanks to the communist government in place, atheism was the official religion of Romania. And aside from a stray dog issue, wildlife and forests were no longer the defining characteristics of the small region of Transylvania. Until the collapse of the communist regime in 1990, Romanian citizens still held the opinion that Dracula was pretty much nothing but ridiculousness. However, when communism collapsed, religion and folklore returned in full force, gaining traction quickly and allowing for a rebirth of Dracula in the country. When the book was finally published and readily available, the Romanian people and citizens appreciated it for the work that it was. And today, several Dracula-themed tourist traps dot the Transylvanian countryside. Try saying that 5 times fast. One theme you can pull away from the setting of Dracula is that people have a fear of unknown and mysterious places, and that these fears can easily be preyed upon by others. You see this theme throughout Dracula thanks to the fact that Westerners knew very little about Romania outside of the fact that it was in the East. And the East was a very unknown place for most Westerners, so Stoker's use of Romania as the setting affected the way that the West and pretty much anybody who ever reads the book will view Dracula and Romania forever. And the fact that Stoker was able to achieve this so easily shows that anybody could shape another's opinion on the unknown. You see this in his quotes. A vast ruined castle from whose tall black windows came no ray of light, and whose broken battlements showed a jagged line against the moonlit sky. Stoker uses gloomy and specific words in order to create a sense of suspense and an overall image of the area. There are many trees on it which make it, in places, gloomy. And there's a deep, dark-looking pond or small lake. Stoker flat out says in this passage that Romania has a gloomy feel to it, and reinforces that idea by mentioning the dark pond in the background. The fact that the pond is dark makes it unknown and inherently a creepy place. Quotes like this, among others, create a certain perception of Romania that the reader can't help but buy into, since they have no other exposure to the place. Meanwhile, nobody in Romania itself could say whether this was an accurate depiction of their country or not, because nobody was allowed to read the book. Stoker, through the publication of Dracula, almost single-handedly created the entire reputation of Romania to the outside world. And though it was outdated and inaccurate by the time Dracula hit its popularity spike in the mid-1900s, people's perception of it as a dark, gloomy, and overall creepy place remained. And again, Stoker had never visited Romania or Transylvania. Its reputation was all caused through one author's portrayal of a place that he had never been to. And this specific case is largely harmless, and a lot of the residents of Romania actually profit from that image. However, we as a society have to be sure to remain on guard and question the way that people talk about the unknown. Are you being manipulated? Do you have all the facts? These are questions that should be asked next time you see someone fear-mongering or pushing an agenda. Think, is everything as surface level as it seems to be?